In Turkey, you can go to prison for insulting this man. So let's ask a question. Was he actually Jewish? Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. In Turkey, his portrait is everywhere, in classrooms, in military halls, in cafes. His signature is etched into monuments. His mausoleum dominates the capital skyline. Insulting his memory can carry legal consequences. He is not simply remembered, he is protected. So why, for over a century, has a rumor refused to die? Was Turkey's founding father actually Jewish? The story begins in Salonica, an Ottoman port city buzzing with languages, faiths, loyalties. Muslims, Jews, Christians, Armenians, Sephardic traders who had fled Spain centuries earlier, Freemasons, reformers, revolutionaries. It was one of the most diverse cities in the empire, and diversity in a collapsing empire breeds suspicion. Because when identities overlap, boundaries blur, and blurred boundaries make anxious societies uneasy. But this rumor does not begin with Ataturk. It begins 2 centuries earlier. In the 1600s, a Jewish mystic named Sabbatai Zevi declared himself the Messiah. His movement spread across the Ottoman world. When confronted by authorities, he converted to Islam. Many followers converted with him, publicly Muslim, privately distinct. They became known as the Dönmeh. Over generations, they built tight-knit communities, especially in Salonica. They were merchants, educators, professionals, but they were also whispered about, neither fully trusted by Muslims nor fully embraced by Jews. Ambiguity is powerful and dangerous. Now fast forward, Salonica, 1881. A boy is born, Mustafa. There is no birth certificate marking him Jewish. Ottoman civil records list his family as Muslim. No synagogue registry, no Dönmeh initiation record, no contemporary accusation during his rise. So where did the suspicion originate? Not in documents, but in what he would later dismantle. After World War I, the Ottoman Empire lies shattered, occupied by Allied forces, partitioned by foreign powers, humiliated. The Sultan remains, but powerless. Into that vacuum steps Mustafa Kemal. He organizes resistance. He wins. He expels occupying forces. He declares a republic. And then, he begins to redefine civilization itself. This is where the tension sharpens. In 1924, he abolishes the Caliphate, the symbolic head of Sunni Islam, a role intertwined with Ottoman legitimacy for centuries. Gone. Religious courts dismantled, Islamic schools replaced with secular education, clerical authority subordinated to the state. For supporters, liberation from stagnation. For critics, sacrilege. But he doesn't stop there. He replaces the Arabic alphabet with Latin letters. Overnight, new textbooks printed, old manuscripts unreadable to younger generations. Within years, literacy campaigns sweep the country. Within decades, historical continuity fractures. Language reset, memory severed, identity rewritten. For some, necessary modernization. For others, cultural amputation. And amputation leaves pain. When identity shifts this fast, people search for hidden hands. Women gain suffrage, civil law modeled after European codes, clothing regulations alter public appearance, the fez outlawed. The visual grammar of empire dissolves, the Ottoman world fades, the republic emerges. The shock is generational. And this is where the accusation emerges. One of the earliest written claims came from Reza Nur, a former ally, later an exile. In private memoirs filled with resentment, he accused Ataturk of being Dönmeh. But historians who examined those manuscripts found political grievance and personal hostility. The memoirs were unpublished during his lifetime. They circulated later, and by then, The accusation had found fertile ground because it offered something powerful, a reason for rupture. But is there archival proof? Ottoman population registers list Ataturk's family as Muslim. No Jewish designation. No Dönmeh registry confirmation. No contemporaneous court accusation. British diplomatic cables mention speculation about Salonica networks, but diplomats record rumor as readily as fact. Historians reviewing the complete files caution against selective quotation. Archival presence does not equal genealogical proof. An archive is not a verdict. So if evidence is thin, why does the rumor survive? When Ataturk died, millions mourned. His image became sacred, his speeches canonized. In 1951, Turkey passed a law protecting his memory. Critics argue legal reverence fuels suspicion, but myth-making is common in states born from trauma. Sacralization stabilizes fragile identity. Here is the deeper psychological layer. When a leader transforms a civilization so completely, those who feel displaced experience loss. Loss seeks narrative. Narrative seeks agency. Agency often becomes conspiracy. Because conspiracy simplifies complexity, the Republic was born from humiliation, foreign occupation, lost provinces, broken prestige. Humiliated societies are vulnerable to explanatory myths, not because they are irrational, but because identity feels unstable. Notice when the accusation resurfaces. During ideological tension, during religious revival, during polarization, the claim becomes rhetorical ammunition. If the founder is framed as other, then secular nationalism becomes foreign, illegitimate, imposed. Identity becomes weaponized. So what do historians across ideological lines agree on? There is no credible archival documentation proving Ataturk was Jewish, no verified genealogical confirmation, no contemporary religious record, no substantiated legal document. The claim rests on geographic association, political hostility, retrospective interpretation, and emotional dissatisfaction with reform. Was he authoritarian? Yes. Did he silence opposition? Yes. Did he impose modernization at breathtaking speed? Without question. But radical reform does not equal hidden ancestry, and dissatisfaction does not create evidence. So what is really being debated? Not bloodline, but belonging. The Ottoman world defined belonging through religion. The Republic defined belonging through secular citizenship. That shift was existential. Existential shifts generate existential stories. Stories that assign motive to trauma. Stories that convert policy into plot. Was Turkey's founding father actually Jewish? There is no credible historical evidence that he was. But the endurance of the question reveals something deeper. When nations change too quickly, when memory fractures, when tradition feels erased, conspiracy offers emotional clarity. It transforms rupture into design, loss into infiltration, shock into secret lineage. The rumor survives not because it is proven, but because it satisfies. It replaces ambiguity with certainty, and certainty, even when unfounded, feels stabilizing.